Hello, my name is Ellen Flood, owner and educational director of the Ontario Nail and Aesthetic Institute. I am a graduate of the Business and Economics program at Wilfrid Laurier University, and I have been an award-winning nail professional, educator, and business owner for over 20 years. I am also the founder of Gellen, a line of nail enhancement products and accessories. Thank you for choosing TONi. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please use the link below to subscribe, and don't forget to like the video. Your comments are always welcome. So we are going to demonstrate the Gellen hard gel system, making an extension. So of course the first thing you would do is start with sanitizing hands. We'll assume you've done that already. Then what we're going to do is a little bit of cuticle work. So I'm simply going to push the cuticle back, out of the way. Obviously you would nip if necessary. Once you get the cuticle out of the way, you want to gently remove any of that tissue. The prep is a huge part in the adhesion of nail enhancements. If your prep is not done properly, you're going to have trouble with your adhesion. I'm going to dust that. Then I am going to now gently file the surface of the nail. For that, I am going to use your choice. If you work by hand, you're going to use a 180 file, board file, or you're going to use a machine. So if you're using a 180, you are going to gently go down the surface, down the center of the nail, tip your file forward at the cuticle, and when it comes to the side walls and the corner, you want to make sure that you take your file, you come down and around, following that nail wall to ensure that you've gotten rid of all of that tissue. If the tissue is tough, you can turn your file over and use the 100 side just for a couple of strokes in order to get rid of that tissue. But then you want to go back to your 180. We don't want to use anything coarser than 180 while we're texturizing the natural nail. Okay, I'm going to do the other side with machine, so I'm using an arbor band, a medium arbor band. I'm going to just gently take the shine off the nail. So she has a little bit of peeling here from nails that have come off, unfortunately. So we're going to do our best there to work gently around that. I'm not going to take all those layers off, just going to lightly buff around them. Now when I do the opposite side of the finger, I need to properly turn the grip this way and come at it with the machine this way. Otherwise, I risk file damaging the nail. So I'm going to use my index finger and pull the skin back, get right in there nice and close to get rid of that secondary tissue, okay? That true cuticle. Texturized, and remove the dust. Okay, the next step then is we're going to cleanse the nail with the TONi Prep and Post. So I've taken a nail wipe, moistened it with the Prep and Post, and I'm going to clean the nail, being careful to go in and around the nail wall to make sure I've gotten rid of any dust and extra debris. Now we have to let that dehydrate back to chalky white dry. Our next step is to apply a form. So I'm going to use the I&M Integrity Clear Forms. This is my clear form of choice. When you apply your form, you want to make sure that you're under the free edge, not on the nail, holding that secure. Once you're under your free edge, I'm going to gently pinch and make sure that it's nice and tight so there's no movement. So our next step is applying the TONi Bond gel adhesive. We're going to apply one brush load, being very careful to not touch the skin. So a full application. It will tend to bleed a little bit, so you don't want to make sure you don't have too much product. You're going to cover the full nail. Now this product will not dry. It is going to stay sticky and damp-like looking prior to application. Our next step is we're going to apply the Gellen hard gel, the base coat. So I'm going to pick up a bead of product. About that much is all I'll need. I'm going to apply it to the middle of the nail first, and I'm going to brush out. There should be a nice, smooth, glossy finish to your application. If you see texture that we've created from below, you don't have enough product. Once I've brushed the majority of the product out, I'm going to take the tip of my brush and go backwards towards the cuticle, just gently pushing, poking the gel, get as close to the cuticle as I can without touching. Okay, nice and smooth and glossy. And now we're going to cure that in a UV light for 2 minutes. So now that our base is cured, I'm going to add an optional layer of pink. So we have 2 pinks that you can use. One is the cover, which is what I'm going to demonstrate right now. The other one is our pink builder, which I will demonstrate in another video for you. All right, so now I'm going to just take a little bit of the cover pink gel on my brush, and I'm going to apply to the nail. So you can see that it adds a nice hue of a light pink. I'm going to lightly feather light brush it on. So the idea with this gel is to give the nail a nice two-tone look if your client wants pink and white. Alternatively, it can be used to cover, hence the name cover, a little bit of nail damage that the client may have, or a little bit of red markings from nails that have been picked off or compromised. Now we're going to go ahead and cure that one in UV light for 2 minutes. Okay, now we're going to build our extension with the Gellen white. So this product is quite thick, as you can see, but it is the #1 customer choice. So in order to get the white on, I'm going to take my bead of gel, I'm going to use my brush, push down, roll, and turn to get it off my brush. This is the easiest way to get that off of the brush onto the nail. Now I'm going to use the tip of my brush and lightly move the product, poking and swirling. Very, very light pressure, moving the product around, bringing it down the sides to cover her natural nail and smile line, and evening it out for color and smoothness along the free edge. I'm making the nail square, but if the client wanted rounded nails, you would shape the enhancement round at this point, or more oval, depending on the client preference. Now I'm going to go to a different brush, and I'm going to clean up my smile line. Okay, now that I have my white applied, I am going to use a different brush. This is my #4 Sable Square Gellen brush to create the smile line. Of course, you can use whatever you wish, whatever your preference is, pointed or square. I'm going to start in the center, and I'm going to work to the side. And then I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to clean the side wall. This makes finish filing later a lot easier for you. And now I'm going to go from over top. I'm going to go from the center to the other side. Clean my smile line. And again, clean my side. This allows for easier shaping later. Of course, you can go back and wipe as many times as you wish until your smile line is perfected the way that you want before you go into the light. And this product is also a 2-minute UV cure. Okay, so now for our next step, we're going to use the Gellen build, and we're going to create the stress area. So as you can see, this one is a very slow self-leveling product. It has very good control. So it's going to allow you to build 5 stress areas at the same time. So again, I'm going to take the brush and sort of roll the gel off of my brush. Now when I build my stress area, I'm going to come along the nail wall, and I'm gently going to sort of push or squish the product from the middle to the side, coming right up a little over the smile line. And on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. So So I'm going to push the product with my brush up along the side, a little over the smile line, and then in the center, I'm just going to redistribute and make sure that it's as smooth as I can. Now the build isn't going to look smooth once it's done curing. That's totally fine. This product is about control and building strength. So I've built my apex, I've built my arch, I've built my support in the center, and before I cure it, I'm going to just gently brush the extra gel away because I have a full layer of white gel here. I don't need builder right out to the tip. If you were applying a plastic tip first and then putting your product on, you're going to put clear builder right out to the end. But today I've sculpted, so I have the thickness that I need for the tip. I don't need to have my build there. So we're going to go ahead and cure this one in the UV for another 2 minutes. Now the next step is we're going to remove the form. So I'm going to grab here and here, gently pinch, make sure I pull that down, separate it from the extension, and then gently pull the form off. And the next step then is we're going to apply the Gellen blend. So this is a clear self-leveling product that we're going to use to fill in any low spots and fill in around the cuticle. So this product, you can see, is a very quick self-leveling component, very thin, very runny. So we want to make sure that we have enough product, but we want to be careful that it doesn't touch the cuticle or sidewalls. So I'm going to start in the middle again, and I'm going to brush a little bit of it out to the free edge, and then I'm going to carefully go around the cuticle and fill in. So I'm pushing in a little bit more than I did the base coat because I want to deposit some product, but I don't want too much because we need the cuticle to be flexible. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the profile of the nail, and I'm going to fill in any low spots. So I grab a bead of gel and gently pull a string, so to speak, and fill in wherever I have any low spots. I usually put a little bit of blend out on my free edge, only to prepare for when I'm finished filing that I don't file away my white. If I use the builder for this step, I end up having too much product and the nails will be too thick. So it's thin, smooth, going to be easier for me to file, but my white is properly covered. So I'm going to fill that in like that, and then we're going to go again and cure for 2 more minutes. So now that it's cured, there is a sticky residue on the nail. We're going to take that off with some prep and post and a wipe. So I'm just going to wipe firmly as if I was taking off nail polish. And now I'm ready to file and shape. So for my filing and shaping, I like my Gellen file, the 8100. That's my personal preference. Of course, you can use what you like, but you're going to need a 100 grit. First thing I'm going to do is file the perimeter shaping. So I'm going to file underneath here. We call this filing up to the groove. So I want the product to be coming straight out of the nail wall. So I gently push the file upwards towards the ceiling as I'm going back and forth to straighten out that free edge from underneath. Okay, I'm going to do the other side because it's very difficult to turn the finger completely the opposite way. What I do is I just turn the client on their side because I'm right-handed, and I work this way. So I'm going to do a gentle release to make sure she's not stuck to the gel, and I'm going to come with a downwards motion with my file. So you can see there's the groove, and I want to get right into that groove. So I'm going to gently come downwards. When I have a new file, I tend to come only downwards as opposed to back and forth, so don't risk cutting the customer. Okay, there we are, straight down to the groove. Now I'm going to go back from a top-down view again, and I'm going to get the shape that I want and the length. As I do my shape and length, I also do what I call my into the groove motion, and that is pushing straight in from the sides to make sure that the nail is not flared. And of course here I'm shaping the nail to the customer's desire, whether it is square, round, oval, etc. So we're just going to go for a square with a little bit of a rounded corner for demonstration purposes, and I'm going to dust away my dust. So there is my perimeter shaping complete. So now to refine the shape of the nail, I'm going to use my machine and my arbor band, and I'm going to file the surface of the nail. The first step that I do is what I call defining the C curve. So I gently push up from underneath with my E-file and my arbor band bit to make sure that the curve underneath looks nice and even, and I can also remove a little thickness if there is any. Then I'm going to follow on top, starting at the free edge. I tip the machine down a bit, I come straight through the center, and I tip the machine up a little bit at the cuticle. I'm coming right to left, because I'm a right-handed nail tech, right to left, across the nail. The tipping down at the free edge and the gentle tipping up gives that nice curved arch look to the nail. Once I have the center done and the thickness that I want, so I define the thickness right here in the middle, and then I'm going to go to my sides. So carefully turning the hand again, finger, go around the cuticle very gently, just to make sure that I didn't touch the skin anywhere, and if I did, clean it up. Then I'm going to file my free edge. So I look down the barrel of the nail again, still filing right to left. I come up from the corner into the center, from the center down to the other corner. I'm blending the free edge to match the center thickness that I've already created in my first step. And then I finish with refining the sides. So those only need to be tapered into your middle again. Use my finger to feel where there's any uneven spots or low spots as I'm filing. This is also a good technique to feel for any heat, if you're generating any heat. If you've done your job properly, the nail should be all texturized. If you have any shiny spots, those would be low spots, and you'll need to continue to smooth out the nail in order to get rid of those. There's my surface shaping complete. Next step for refinement, I'm going to use a spongy file. These are my favorite for a little bit more smoothing, but leaving the nail properly texturized for your top coat. So I'm just going to use this as you would a buffing block. Again, I go straight down the center, one side and the other side. Just a gentle smoothing, a little bit of refinement in case you have any uneven spots. If you have any sharp corners, you can use the spongy along the edge to refine the free edge shape. Otherwise, that's all that we need. It's just a little bit of buffing. I'm going to dust again. So my next step is the prep and post. I'm going to clean the nail again, dehydrate it, get rid of all the extra dust, ready for my top coat application. Use my finger again to make sure that I get in around the area. There's no dust. All right, and my last step now is I'm going to add my finish shine to the nail. So I'm going to use the gloss, which is going to give us a permanent high shine to the nail. So when you work with the gloss, it's a similar bead to the base, just a touch more product. Again, I'm going to apply it the same way as I did my base coat. Middle of the nail, brushing the bulk of the gel out to the free edge, making sure that I'm covering. And then I'm going to use the tip of my brush and go as close again to the skin as I can without touching. If you brush outwards first, this ensures that you're not going to put too much product at the cuticle area, because we don't want it to flood around and touch the skin or the sidewalls. You do not need to cap this product because it is not natural nail. We are on the enhancement, so it's not required that you cap. So there's your nice shine, and then we're going to go and cure this now for 2 more minutes in the UV. So our last step now is to wipe the sticky layer off again with some more prep and post. So I'm going to do that. We're going to just finish our customer up with a little bit of cuticle oil. And there you have it. There is your sculpted Gellen hard gel extension.